I don't like getting political because it's in the realm of irrationality. Talking about politics is similar to talking about religion, except now the moral compass is just all the way obliterated. You can still make the case for some valid, understandable morality framework of morality in religions, and specifically in Christianity, which I'm the most familiar with. It's hard to speak to the moral compass of our political climate today. It's hard to justify anything. I just want to say it's very disconcerting to hear your president say that there's other countries waiting, the other countries kissing his ass to strike a deal. I don't ever want to hear no president say that. I don't care how much. If I let's say it was a president I liked, I don't want to hear my president say that. You're completely full of shit if you support and love and value a president who says that, because that is completely incompatible with any kind of like moral soundness. It's because and especially in this context, because you could try to justify and rationalize that case with a quote unquote enemy like China, but you cannot justify that with so many of the other countries, like Madagascar or whatever other country that didn't do anything, is not doing anything, is not trying to. There's no history of them trying to take advantage, of trying to damage, or trying to hurt. And to say that, I'm just imagining some poor country with like where this is being affected, who like a completely harmless area that supplies us with some kind of good that we tend to buy, and it's like I'm listening to this person saying that, I'm trying to kiss their ass to strike a deal. That's just man. It's not. It's unsightly. If not, you remember Obama in his tan suit? I digress. That being said, look, a lot is happening, right? And so if in fact prices are gonna go up to the extent that they are supposed to, I believe that this is a very good opportunity to reevaluate our value system. Because now to move on to talk about things like, iPhones going up and just other goods going up from China. One thing I will say is that if you're trying to find a positive out of this, what I mean by trying to find a positive out of this, what I mean is, other than just voting, since you can't vote, other than calling up your senators and your congress people and whomever your representatives, and like just protesting and throwing and raising hell, what a person with the everyday people can do, I really feel, is really evaluate their value systems, to where, to be totally honest, we don't need to be purchasing all the shit we purchase. I'm not a fan of how materialistic Americans are, and it's one thing that can I just speak to this, that one of the biggest ironies in regards to this China versus America thing is neither America nor China cares about the slave labor happening. Nobody cares. And I'm not saying that I care to where I'm some kind of crusader for it. I'm saying that it's crazy that we consider ourselves to be some kind of moral leader, some kind of voice of morality, representatives of morality. Everybody thinks they're so ethical. But when we're talking about, for instance, the iPhones, everybody's talking like the even the news commentators and stuff are like, we need them to still make them cheap. We don't want our iPhones to go cheap. I have never owned an Apple, so this is easy for me to say. I've never owned an iPhone, so I don't care about iPhones. And I know it's not simply just the iPhones, it's electronics in general. But I'm a bit of a Luddite in the sense that I don't believe that a lot of the quote unquote advanced technologies that we use recreationally, I'm not talking about for surgeries or for hospitals or anything like that, but I'm talking about recreationally. A lot of the advanced technologies that you hand to your child and stuff, I think we'd be better off without it. And I'm not saying we'd be better off without the internet, or we'd be better off without smartphones just in general. But I think a lot of it just kind of gives people a false sense of that they're living life, when buying stuff and just having new features on a phone, your camera being clearer, your phone being faster, just like a millisecond faster, and all that. Like, that's just, and just being able to buy cheap stuff just to buy cheap stuff. That we're constantly trying to fill up that empty void, man. And my point is that a lot of the stuff that a human being goes out their way to purchase from China, you don't need to be buying that to begin with. This is not me saying that in support of the like 104% tariffs. So I'm talking about just in the context of what's going on, in the context of our powerlessness, other than the power. I'm not talking about, we still, again, vote, vote, vote. But in regards to like what a person can do now, I think that set your sights upon being a minimalist. Set your sights on focusing on needs versus wants, and even raising your children that way. Be more wary of giving your young child a phone at such a young age. Be more wary of just of trying to fill that void with just electronics and just stuff. So many of us are just, we just like stuff, and we like stuff, but we like stuff, but we're also empty and dissatisfied, and very much so in a state of hollowness. And all I'm saying is we could recalibrate our value system to where material goods, I'm not talking about the necessities like food and whatnot, that's going to go up, but like just stuff is not where it's at to begin with, is my point. That's all my point is. I digress. I just want to speak some words to all that.